In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to work a disappearing loop cast on or a magic loop cast on. Now, this is a great cast on if you're working things starting from the center outward. For example, if you're working a hat from the crown down, you can even use it on socks if you're working from starting from the toe. Your circular blankets, shawls, or your square ones or your hexagons, all of those that start at the center and increase outward. Since we are starting with a very small circumference, you're either going to need DPNs or a very long circular needle if you're using magic loop, or two circular needles, whatever your preferred method for working in the round. Please note that if you like the small 9-inch circulars used for socks and sleeves, it is not recommended for this cast on because the circumference will be too small to start with. You can always change to that length of needle later on. The first method for working a disappearing loop cast on I'm going to show you is if you are casting on an even number of stitches. Going to create a tail that is 6 to 8 inches long, cross it over your working yarn so that the tail is laying on top of your working yarn. Pinch where the two yarns cross with your right hand. Hold your needle in your right hand. I find it helpful to open the loop with my fingers. Create tension with the working yarn with your left hand. And the first thing you're going to do is yarn over. You're going to bring your needle through the loop, grab the yarn, bring it through. That brings your second stitch, and you're simply going to repeat. Yarn over, needle through the loop, grab the yarn, pull it through. Yarn over, through the loop, grab the yarn, pull it through. Simply repeat until you have the desired number of stitches in your pattern. The reason it's called the disappearing loop is because we simply pull on the tail and then this loop begins to close. While beginning your first few rows, leave a little slack in your loop. It'll make it easier to start that circumference, and you can tighten the circle at any time while working your project. The second method for working a disappearing loop cast on I'm going to show you is if you were casting on an odd number of stitches. So we're going to create a tail that is 6 to 8 inches long. We're going to take our working yarn to create the loop so that it crosses over our tail. Pinch where the yarns cross with our right hand and our needle in our right hand. Open the loop with our fingers. Create tension with our working yarn. And now we're going to go into the loop, grab the yarn and pull it through, and then yarn over. So those are our first two stitches. Similar to the first method, except for it's worked in the opposite order. So in through the loop, pull it through, and yarn over. This way, when you are creating an odd number of stitches, your last stitch that you create is pulled through the loop. This will secure it in place that when you decide it's time to close your loop. The third method of creating a disappearing loop cast on I'm going to show you is a little more advanced, and it has an extra step. This extra step secures the loops in place within the magic disappearing loop. So we're going to make a tail that's 6 to 8 inches long. We're going to cross the working yarn over the tail with our needle in our right hand. We're going to pinch together where the yarns cross. create tension with the loop, create tension with the working yarn with our left hand, and now we begin. Insert the needle through the loop, pull it through, and yarn over. Now the extra step is we're going to take the first loop that we created and we're going to slip it over the second one to create one stitch. And then we're going to repeat. In through the loop, pull the yarn through, yarn over. Grab the first loop we created and bring it up over that yarn over and drop. And you simply repeat to the desired number of stitches. The perk of this method of doing this cast on is because all the stitches are secured within the loop, it works for even or odd numbers. And it creates a cleaner beginning row. Show you a few more. And then you pull the tail just like you did in the others. But you can see that these stitches are more secure than the other two methods. And it creates prettier stitches inside the loop. I hope that these tutorials were helpful on your knitting journey. Please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button below and follow me on all my socials. Until next time, happy knitting!